Okay, Riley, let's try this. See if this doesn't help you for the 14th and the 15th stuff. Okay. Okay, these sequences, they're patterns. It's like a little game here. You know, you got 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. All right, and we look at that, and what you want to recognize is what do you do to go from one number to the next? What's their pattern that's established? And on this one, it's +3. Okay, and I'm trying to write as I look through the camera here, so I'll do my best. So they have there's some kind of an established pattern. Okay, that's what you want to recognize. Now these individual pieces of this, the 15, the 18, they're in order. All right, so we call those terms. First term is 15, second term is 18, third term is 21, fourth is 24, fifth is 27, and so on. This ... means this will continue on. Okay, so these little numbers on this A sub 1, that N number that's sitting down there, that 1, that 2, that 3, that's the position of the number. So this is this A sub 4 doesn't mean there's a 4 up here. It's the fourth number in line. Okay, so here the example I have is A sub 3. That means the third term. What's the third number in line? 21. So that A sub 3 equals 21 means the third term is 21. So all I want you to do in this first lesson is figure out this pattern. Here we know it's a +3, and then just continue it on. So +3 for 30, +3 for 33, +3 for 36, okay? Now these patterns you gotta do a little investigation here to figure those out. If you look at this second one, 0 to 3, we're adding 3, then we add 4, then we add 5. See, it's not the same, but there is a pattern here. The next one should be +7 for 25. Then the next one should be +8. What would that be? 33. And then +9 for 42. Then this third one was a tricky one, because if we looked at what will we add, from 1 to 8 you would add 7, from 8 to 25 you'd add 15, from here you'd add 37. So there's no distinguishable pattern looking at it like that. We could say we times by 8, 1 times 8 is 8, but 8 times 8 is 64. That would skip over to 27, so we're not multiplying. Got to find something else. So this one was a tough one. You looked a little deeper in this. Each of those numbers is related to their position. That's a 1 cubed. 2 cubed is 8. 3 cubed is 27, and 4 cubed is 64. So that's how we figured out, or that's the pattern. And the next three numbers should be 5 cubed, 6 cubed, and 7 cubed. So 125, 216, and then I'm not for sure what 7 times 7 times 7 is. Let me look. If I got it. And I don't have it. You'll have to figure that out, whatever 7 times 7 times 7 is. Okay, so really this first lesson was just an understanding of what this notation is. That when we say, come out here, A to the 9th, that would be the 9th number in line. Okay, and then recognizing a pattern. So on the homework, I'll give you the patterns here. You just needed to recognize the pattern. How do you go from 80 to 77? You subtract 3. Well, do you do that again to go from 77 to 74? Yes. All the way across here, you're subtracting 3. So just keep subtracting 3. Here you would say add 4, but if I add 4 again, I don't get 16. And if I add 4, I don't get 32. So it's something different. Well, what's another way to go from 4 to 8? Times by 2. 8 times 2 is 16, 16 times 2 is 32, 32 times 2 is 64, so there it is. So just continue on here, timesing by 2 to get your 3 answers all the way across. Then you would times by 2, times by 2. Here it's the same numbers, but every other one is negative. So what happened here? If we times by -2, then it will flip-flop from positive to negative. So positive times negative is a -8. But a -8 times a -2, positive 16. Positive 16 times -2 is -32. So you get the idea here. So there's a times 2 pattern. There's also a pattern of positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. So just continue on multiplying by -2. Here we subtract 3, or add 3 to get from 8 to 11, but we don't add 3 here, we subtract 2. Well, from 9 to 12 though, we added 3 again, subtract 2. So this one's like a two-stepper. +3, -2, +3. And that will get you your homework, okay? Let's take a look at today's stuff real quick. Give you a little deeper explanation for today. All right, so today it's all about one specific type of pattern, and that's the arithmetic sequence where you're either adding or subtracting a constant value. So like this example we had here, we're adding 3 all the way across. Okay, that doesn't change. It's always adding 3 all the way across. That number is called the common difference, and it gets the variable of d. Okay, now the key here is how many 3's do you add? So with our first number where we start at, we didn't add any 3. We just started at 15. But to get to the second number, we added 1 3 to go from 15 to 18. To get to the third number, how many 3's did we add? 2. 1, 2 to get to 21. We're always starting at 15. And then to get to the fourth number, what we would do, we'd have to add another 3. 1, 2, 3 of them, because we always start at 15. So you ought to recognize here now that, let's go out here to the 36. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the 8th number in line. So how many 3's did you add to get there? 7. It's always 1 less. To get to 4, we added 3 of them. To get to 3, we added 2. To get to 2, we added 1. So to get to 8, you would have added 7 3's. So I think of it kind of like, and I said in the video, it's like you're giving directions. So let's just play a little game here. Ask ourselves, how did we get to 36 in this list? Well, anytime you give directions, you have to know where you're starting at. So we would start at the first number, 15. Okay, so this 15 is our first number. So the symbol for that would be a sub 1. Then if this is the 8th number, okay, how many 3's did we add? We didn't add 8, we only added 7 of our 3's. Okay, and 3 times 7 is 21, and 15 plus 21 gives us our 36. That's how we landed on 36. So to generalize this, we could just simply say, well, what if we don't want to go to 36? What if we want to go way out here to some mystery number that's in our list? And we would call it a sub n, some mystery number. Okay, well, how would we get to a sub n? We would have to start at the first number, 15. Actually, let me do it this way. How would we get to a sub n? We would start at the first number, whatever it is, and we would start adding these 3's. Now, how many 3's would we have to add to get to the nth place? Well, when we get to the 8th place, we didn't add 8, we added 7. To get to the 4th place, we didn't add 4, we added 3. So we would add whatever that n is minus 1 of our 3's, and our 3, that common difference, we call d, and there's our formula we will use. This is the number you want to get to, whether it's 36 or way out here. This is the first number in line where you got to start from. This is what you're adding, or if our numbers were getting smaller, we'd be subtracting them. And then this is how many times you're going to add it, which is always 1 less than that number. Okay? So let's take a look at this. So here's one we're getting smaller. We're subtracting 6 all the way across. Okay? So let's say we wanted to go to some mystery number out here. Let's say we wanted to figure out let's just do the 18th number in line. Okay, so we would say, how do we get to the 18th number in line? Well, you got to start at your first spot. You'd have to start at 50. And then what are we going to start doing? We're going to start subtracting 6. Well, by the time we get to the 18th spot, how many will we subtract? Well, it will be 18 minus 1, or 17 of those negative 6's. So then we clean this up a little bit. We have that equation, so we can multiply those two. Oh, and what would it be? Although, oops, got a mistake. This would be plus. Okay, let me grab a calculator. What is that? Negative 60 plus another 42, negative 102, I think. Yep. Minus 102, so we get an answer of negative 52. Well, what's that mean? If we follow this list out long enough, we would see negative 52 as one of our numbers. Now notice how it's getting smaller, so eventually we will turn negative. Okay? And exactly where would we see that negative 52 at? It'd be the 18th number in line. All right? So let me get you started to set up here on your homework here a little bit. Let's see. All right, so all I want you to do on these 4 homework problems is identify a sub 1. Well, it's right there. It's the first number in line. So we can do that. And your d value, so you have to investigate here a little bit. And on this arithmetic, where am I at? On our arithmetic sequence, this is either going to be a plus number all the way across or a minus number all the way across. This one here is a plus 4. Then you find a specific number. Okay, and that little index right there, that 9 is important. So you're going to say, well, how would I get to the 9th number? Well, you'd have to start at the first number, and you would add what? 9 minus 1, 8 of those 4s. So you'd have 25 plus 32, you would get 57. So the 9th number is 57. So that means if we come out here far enough, we'll see a 57 in our list. Exactly where will we see it? It'll be the 9th number in line. Okay? And that's what I want you to do on these other 3. Okay? So hopefully this helps. I'll send this to your email.